YouTube. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. Today I'm going to talk about an organization that has grown in popularity over the last couple of years, that being Mgtow. And it stands for Men Going Their Own Way. Now, contrary to what some people believe, it's not a bunch of men who couldn't get any women, so they got angry. Not what it's about. It's basically about men being screwed over in the family court system, and that's no secret. We always hear people crying about oppression this, and blacks crying and feminists are always crying. But the truth of the matter is, the real oppression in America are men in the family court structure, and men are severely screwed over when it comes down to divorce, and even worse when it comes down to child custody. Men just have no rights at all. Now, as a result of this organization, Mgtow, is a bunch of men who decided, well, we're not going to marry, we're not going to have children, we're not going to put ourselves in harm's way because it doesn't benefit men. And in that regard, I agree with them. You can't fault anyone for not wanting to be, not for putting themselves in harm's way, for not wanting to be cannon fodder. You can't blame them for that. So in that regard, I completely agree with Mgtow. But my problem with Mgtow, again, I don't have a problem with the men going part. Is their own way part that I have a problem with, because going their own way it's just like running away from a problem, and running away from a problem is not going to solve it. In a lot of ways, is that going their own way is a result of the reason why this problem exists in the first place. Because feminists are active, they're loud, they're boisterous, they protest. You hear their message. Well, men, on the other hand, you don't. And as that old Japanese proverb goes, that the wheel that squeaks the loudest gets the most oil. So the feminists are squeaking, men aren't, which is understandable, because most people trying to make ends meet. You out here working and you have a job. Well, that's your responsibility. That's your main task. Whereas in feminists, a lot of them are paid protesters, and if that's your job, well, obviously you're going to be a lot more effective at it than someone who's not paid, and someone who has a job and other responsibilities. So I can understand why men aren't as active and boisterous as getting rights for men, even though the men's rights movement has picked up steam and is going on, is ongoing. But it can be better if Mgtow were to, instead of going their own way, were to go to the government and demand equal rights for men. In this age of equality, well, let's get some equality for men. If Mgtow, they were to go to the government and demand equality, or else, it will be some shit like R. Kelly, then they will get some rights. They will get what they were talking about. They will get exactly what they're wanting as an equality for men. If they were to get boisterous, the government would have no choice but to give men equal rights in the family court structure. That's why, if I could ever talk to any Mgtowers, or my advice for Mgtowers is, don't go your own way. Go to the government and fight for your rights. If you do that, men will have rights in the family court structure. And part of the reason why they don't have it is because, again, men aren't boisterous. Women are, feminists are, men aren't. So my advice to Mgtow is, you should be going to the government and voicing your opinion and demanding these rights. If you don't, you never will. And that's pretty much my view on Mgtow. Again, I can't fault him for their actions. I just disagree with their actions. To me, it's the wrong action. It's not going to solve any problems going their own way. I just think it's just going to allow for more exactly the problem that they're complaining about. And think about it. If all men decide, well, we're not going to marry, we're not going to have children, where is it going to leave society? What are we going to do, die off? So I just think that it should be men going to the government and demanding rights, not men going their own way. And that's pretty much my view on Mgtow. As always, until next time.